Hello and welcome in. My name's Tom. I'm your neighborhood butcher. Today we're going to go over all of next week's local ads. This is the Arizona local ad. So we're going to go over a number of ads and we're going to help you find the best prices for the cheapest pieces of meat. I believe in shopping local and shopping at multiple stores to find your best prices. Most of these local grocery stores still use the marketing strategy of, offering a very low gross profit, very low price leader to bring you into their stores to help promote sales. And I think by shopping around at multiple grocery stores that you can find and save a lot of money, find the best price on the best piece of meat to put on your grill or the best piece of produce for your dinner table. So let's start going over these ads. Hey, I just want to put out a little statement real quick. I made a mistake. I have been going over the Cardenas ads and I actually said Gardenas last time and used a G rather than a C, and I apologize about that. I just misrepresented the name. And I didn't see it correctly. That was my fault. So we're going to go over the Cardenas ad, and this is the Los Altos Ranch Market. There's quite a few of these in the Arizona market, and I believe they offer a very, very cool, authentic Hispanic, experience. And I think they're really, really neat little markets, and I enjoy going to them personally. And you find some really good deals on some different kinds of meats and produce and all kinds of things that they offer. So let's start off with the Cardenas ads. So first things first, we're going to look at we have a beef sirloin tip and top round steak or roast for $4.99 a pound. I'm telling you right now, in any of the grocery store market. To find a $4.99 a pound roast, that's a good deal. Not everybody's running these cheap, $2 and $3 a pound roasts like we used to see. Of course, inflation and things like that have really kind of, pushed these grocery stores where, their gross profit margin is just not as big as it used to be. And the cost on these meats have really, really risen quite a bit. So to find a really good price on a good roast is hard to find. And we have Cardenas Market running a $4.99 a pound sirloin tip roast or top round roast. Sirloin tip is a good piece of meat. I like to put the sirloin tip, you got the chuck, the cross rib, and as far as pieces of meat that are going to shred the fastest, sirloin tip is the next best, and it's part of the round. Cross rib's the arm, chuck is the shoulder, and sirloin tip is going to be from the round. But it is one of the better parts of the round, as far as I'm concerned, for actually throwing in the crock pot and shredding. So that's a really good deal. And on the top round roast, top round roast is a wonderful piece of meat for your, stew meat, your chop suey, stir fry, beef jerky. Really, really, there's a lot of things that you can do with the top round. And if you're gonna do Swiss steak, if you're gonna do any of those classics like that, top round would make a really good piece of meat. And if you can get a roast for $4.99 a pound, that's a good deal. And one worth taking advantage of. So here we have the seedless watermelons. This is a 3-day sale, going to be from May 30th to June 1st. The seedless watermelon for 33 cents a pound. That is a smoking deal. You got corn, fresh eared corn, 2 for 99, so 50 cents a ear. That's awesome. You can't go wrong. And then you also have the avocados or your avocados. I'm just playing with that name. I apologize. 2 for $4. It's not a bad deal. They're really trying to throw some pretty decent prices at you for a little local market like this, really trying to bring you into their market so that you'll take advantage of these deals and maybe buy something else in their store. You have cherries here for $1.49 a pound. That's a smoking deal for cherries. Pork stew meat. You don't see pork stew meat on sale too often, because usually it's like an offshoot. There's a pork shoulder on sale, or pork shoulder steaks. They're trying to produce stew meat from those pieces of meat to usually make a higher gross profit. So to see a stew meat on sale for $2.49 a pound, that's a pretty good deal for stew meat, for pork stew. And there's a lot of things you can do with pork stew. That's a good. It's well worth maybe thinking about looking up some pork stew meat recipes. So we also have shrimp here. It's a headless white shrimp for 61.70 count for $4.49 a pound. That's a smaller shrimp, but for $4.49 a pound, man, it's hard to find a shrimp, at that size range for that price. These guys are offering a pretty good price on this size shrimp. You go down this little side ad here. Looks like marinated chicken, pork, and diced El Pastor for $4.99 a pound. Get a marinated beef already for $4.99 a pound. That's pretty decent. And then you have here pork chuck. Let's see what this is. So this is a beef chuck steak or chuck roast regular or marinated for $5.99 a pound. To get a good old-fashioned boneless chuck roast for $5.99 a pound, if that's what you are going in there to look for, that's a smoking deal right there at today's prices, and definitely worth going in and getting that. Let's keep rolling down this ad. See, they have tons of little things. They offer marinated beef, pork, and chicken. Carne, El Pastor, and pollo. All these things. They run a lot of good things, and I think it's well worth hitting these little markets just to check out what they have, especially if you're looking for something different. It's cool to go into these little places and just see what the hell they have. That's really, really neat. Y'all, here we go. Bashas hot dogs. It's probably the 12-ounce pack. It looks like it is for 99 cents. That's a great deal. Just a little deal. Roll in this little place, get you a chuck roast and some hot dogs, and maybe a couple odds and ends for a dinner or two, and save a little bit of money. Let's roll down this ad a little bit more. Pan Bimbo's bread line for $2.99. That's not bad for just bread in general, as long as it's a decent brand. $2.99 isn't a bad deal for a loaf of bread. Let's keep rolling down this ad a little bit more. 16-ounce pack. No, it's a 12-ounce pack for $3.49. It's still not too bad for a 12-ounce pack of Bashas ham. Let's keep rolling down these deals and see what else they have. Cardenas for $6 a pound. And then they have just an 85%, looks like an 85% ground beef. Yeah, 1 pound chub for $4.49 a pound for 85% is always what I would consider the classic grind. 15% fat is really good, for getting that good flavor out of your hamburger. I like it, and at $4.49 a pound, that's a pretty cheap price for 85% lean ground beef. Let's keep rolling down this ad a little bit more and see what else we have. They're rolling. See, these have bakeries in them. There's a full size. You can get cakes and stuff. So they offer a lot of cool deals. Mandarins for 99 cents. Here's a baby back rib. No, fresh pork spare rib. Sorry, fresh pork spare rib for $2.99 a pound. And I tell you, I've seen this deal twice now, 2 weeks in a row. So they're running their short ribs and flanken style ribs for $5.99 a pound. I want to say last week for Memorial they had them for $4.99 a pound. I can't speak enough about a good flanken rib on the grill. My Lord, that is so tasty. Marinated, just a little bit of barbecue sauce, however what kind of taste you're looking for. That little flanken rib is a very good piece of meat. And so tasty. Even if you don't do anything with it, you just cook it on the grill, salt, pepper. That's a good piece of meat. And I've talked about bone-in short ribs in the past. You take that meat off of that bone, and that is some of the best meat. Remember, all that stuff's from the chuck, so it's really going to fall apart when you try to slow cook that stuff. Flanken style ribs and bone-in short ribs for $5.99 a pound is a very, very good deal, you guys. So we got catfish nuggets for $3.49 a pound. Looks like you have ceviche shrimp. What do we got here? Let's see. It's a raw broken shrimp for ceviche. Huh, that's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what that is. But for $5.99 a pound, that's not bad. And then we have also a 26 to 30 count for $6.99 a pound. Looks like tail on. Might not even be deveined, so it's like the whole shrimp for $6.99 a pound. That's just an okay deal. And then whole tilapia for $2.99 a pound. There's a lot of waste to that tilapia, that whole tilapia fish, but at $2.99 a pound, that's pretty good. I want to say tilapia fillet, you can find in that $5.99, $6.99 a pound range. So for the whole fish itself, it's not too bad, not too bad at all. All right, let's keep rolling down this ad, and that's about it. Little market, little ad, couple small deals in here where you could really save some money in comparison to some of your, like your Safeways, your Fry's, and things like that. And find some really cool items at Cardenas. All right, let's switch over to the Fry's ad. Man, Fry's, they're running an okay ad this week. They're running their Heritage Farm chicken at $2.49 a pound. Remember, their Heritage Farm is their store-bought chicken, and it's a no-pump chicken, so there's no solution in it, no salt solution, no extra injections and things like that. So Fry's has really tried to put out a really good store-brand chicken, and at $2.49 a pound, man, that's good. If you're feeding your dogs, making dog food, whatever you're making out of chicken, $2.49 a pound is well worth a deal. Avocados and mangoes, large, 3 for $2. Man, that's a pretty decent deal right there. Salmon, $8.99 a pound for their farm-raised Atlantic salmon, $8.99 a pound. That's the best deal I've seen in a couple weeks. It always varies, $10.99, $9.99, $8.99. If they're really trying to sell it, $7.99. So at $8.99 a pound, it's a pretty good roundabout price and worth taking advantage if you're a salmon fan. 6 packs of Coca-Cola and Pepsi products, buy 2 get 2 free. We talk about this each and every week. There's always a store that's running one of these buy 2 get 2 free. Look at your regular retail to make sure you're getting a good deal. Ballpark Franks and Hillshire Farms sandwich meat line or lunch meats for $2.99. They're now 9-ounce package. The Ballpark Franks is going to be a 16-ounce pack, and that's a good deal. $2.99 is a good deal on Ballparks and Hillshire Farm. Very good deal. Definitely worth taking advantage of. Fry's has ran this little deal: buy 2 get 3 free on this Green Mountain, coffee Keurig things, and this McCafe line as well. And this is for buy 2 get 2 free, as long as that regular retail isn't, you just got to do the math and check it out. But buy 2 get 3 free, man, those are usually really good deals because they're really trying to get rid of that product. Sargento and Tillamook cheese at buy 1 get 1. Thomas's English muffins and bagels, buy 1 get 1. And then you got your Oro wheat line, buy 1 get 1. Man, all pretty decent prices. Just check your regular retail. Let's keep rolling down this ad. This isn't too bad of a deal here. Weekly digital ad for Fry's. You got your bratwurst or your Italian sausage line for $3.99 each. This is 18 ounces of sausage for $3.99. Remember, just to really, really take advantage of this, make sure and buy that 5 packages right off the bat, because if you try to buy 1 pack and then a couple days into the week or a couple days into the ad you go try to buy another pack, you're not going to get the same savings. This is on 1 transaction, so make sure and pick up the full amount so that you save that money. You also have half gallons at $1.29 a half gallon. Not too bad. DiGiorno pizzas. Man, DiGiorno pizza at $3.99 each. That's a pretty good deal. We've seen Red Baron, and we all know that Red Baron pizza's quality has went down dramatically. And to see a DiGiorno pizza at $3.99, where a Red Baron would normally be, That's a pretty good savings at the Fry's. Chips Ahoy and Oreo cookies. This is also a weekly digital deal at $2.49. Yeah, if you want some cookie action, there you go, man. $2.49 a freaking container. That's smoking. Ooh, doggy. Eastern Fishery Sea Scallops. These are the big U10 sea scallops. This is a 16-ounce pack, and it's $9 each. Man, that is the cheapest price I've seen on scallops in a long time. That is probably the best deal if you're looking for a scallop in the whole market right now. Come to Fry's, pick that thing up. That's a good deal. That's one worth popping in the store for. Let's slide down this ad and see what else we got rolling here at the Fry's. You know, mainly, like I said in the past, you know, I'm looking at proteins and produce, maybe a few items here and there that really kind of catch my eye or catch my fancy. Uncrustables at $3.79. It's not too bad if you like that product. Oh, this isn't a bad deal right here. This is 2 pounds of hamburger patties for $6.99. That's a smoking deal. These are a frozen product. There's a lot of good flavors to them, and definitely a good deal. It is a digital ad, so make sure and see what all your, make sure and go and download that digital coupon before you roll into the store. Patties for $10. It's okay. 4 for $10 on Ruffles, Doritos, and Fritos. If you weren't able to take advantage of those memorial deals on chips, here's another deal, to try to save you a little more on chips. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else we have. 2 for $6 on cheese. It's not terrible. St. Louis style ribs. It's not bad. This is a Boost member only deal. So if you're in Fry's Boost member club, man, you can get St. Louis style ribs at $1.99 a pound. That's a damn good deal. That St. Louis style rib is the nice part of the spare rib, and it's missing that brisket bone and some of the waste, from that spare rib. Makes it look more like a baby back rib, and it's a really good deal. French's yellow mustard for 99 cents each. Man, these are some decent deals if you become a Boost member. Sometimes some of these Boost member prices, I tell you take advantage of these deals and you max out like your limit on them. You can almost save enough money on 1 or 2 of these deals to pay for the membership, which is cool. I think it's $50 or $60 a year for the Boost membership. Let's keep rolling down this ad. 2 pounds of strawberries for $5.29. That's an okay deal. If you're liking strawberries, there you go. And then you see here they have a boneless beef round roast or London broil. That's $7.99 a pound. So you remember at Cardenas you had top round roast at $4.99 a pound. So there's where you can save some money by popping around to some of the other stores. 16-ounce bacon, Kroger bacon. This is a 16-ounce product for $4.99. That's an okay deal. It's pretty decent in this today's market. 3140 count. Raw peeled and deveined shrimp sold in a 2-pound bag for $6.99. That's not too bad at all. That's a great deal. And then we have 93% lean ground beef at $6.49 a pound. Sometimes you'll see this ground beef a little cheaper, but like I was talking to you, inflation's went up. They're not making quite as much money gross profit wise, and just the main muscles that produce these meats cost wise have went up, and it's just more expensive to produce this 93% hamburger. So if you're looking for the lean stuff, $6.49 a pound, not too bad. Let's keep rolling down this ad and see what else we have. Here's some $5 deals. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You got pizza deal. You got Kroger deli salads. Sushi deal on Wednesday. Chef's Choice rotisserie chicken for $5 on Thursday. And Friday is Friday donut deal. Anyway, a couple pretty decent deals there. Let's roll down this ad a little bit more, and that's it for fries. $2.49 a pound, boneless skinless breast chicken, and Boost member price on St. Louis style ribs for $1.99 a pound, and then just a good old fashioned everyday low price on salmon, Atlantic salmon, farm raised, at $8.99 a pound. All right, let's flip over to the Bashas ad. You know, Bashas is kind of running a ho-hum ad this week. Got your normal price on your 80% lean ground beef sold in the value pack limit 2 for $2.99 a pound. Not sure how they're actually making a gross profit off this. This is a very, very cheap price for 80% lean ground beef fresh. $2.99 a pound on boneless, skinless breast chicken or thighs. Fries had it at $2.49 a pound. So this is just an average price. Here we go. This is a good deal here. This is a boneless center cut value pack pork loin chops for $1.99 a pound. This is a great deal. And I'm wondering if they're actually selling the whole loins at that price too, or if they're just value packed to these loin chops cut up. They're already cut for you and ready to go. Man, that's a great deal. But it's only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for that. But a boneless pork chop for $1.99 a pound. That's worth popping into Bashas for. Here's a Norwegian salmon, $9.99 a pound. This is farm raised. You know, Fry's had it for $8.99 a pound. And then we have blueberries at $1.99 each. Not sure exactly what size packaging this is sold in. But blueberries at $1.99 isn't too bad. Ooh, 3 for 99 cents. Small avocados. So it's not the large ones like in the Fries ad. Hell, 33 cents. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. 99 cents a pound on broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes on the vine, and 99 cents each on orange gold and red bell peppers. It's not bad either. $10.99 each on the 24 packs of Pepsi products. $5.50 a 12 pack. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Here we go, Lay's and Doritos at $2.99 each when you buy 4. So you have to buy 4 bags of these. One of the better deals right here. 2-liter Coca-Cola, Sprite, Fanta, or Dr. Pepper at $1 each. That's a good one for a 2-liter bottle of soda at $1 each. Buy one, get one on Oro Wheat. We saw an Oro Wheat buy one, get one, I believe in the Cardenas ad. Or no, in the Fries ad, I'm sorry. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Cherries, $3.99 per pound. And then we got colossal raw shrimp, 8 to 12. Now that count means that is a big, big shrimp. 8 to 12 count shrimp. We're talking shrimp like yay big for $6.99 a pound. Man, that is probably one of the better deals right there on shrimp. And this is part of Bash's digital deal. So you had the cherries for $3.99. And your colossal shrimp at $6.99, 8 to 12 count, sold in a 2-pound bag. Woo! That's a good one. So Bashas is still rolling some pretty good stuff to bring you in their store. Here we go, baby back rib for $3.99 a pound. That's kind of an average Joe price, and $6.99 a pound on a chuck steak. I'm sure you can get a chuck roast at that price too. That's a decent deal. All right, let's keep rolling down this ad to see what else we have. You know, one thing with Bashas, you know, pork country style ribs at $1.69 a pound, and your sirloin chops at $1.59 a pound. To be able to get a bone-in sirloin or a bone-in country style rib for under $2 a pound, those are pretty decent deals and well worth rolling into Bashas to pick up some pork. Let's keep rolling down this ad, see what else we have in here. Here's a 3-day sale, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on a 16-20 count easy peel shrimp, raw, $4.99 a pound. That is a pretty good deal as well, a little bit bigger than that 8 to 12, but still at $4.99 a pound for shrimp, raw shrimp. Oh yeah, that's worth going in there and grabbing up. So man, you hit the Cardenas for the roast price, you hit the fries for the chicken, you roll into Bashas and get your shrimp. Man, you're talking saving 20 or 30 bucks right there just by hitting a couple stores or a few different stores, you know, and picking up their smoking deals. Villaroma sausages at $2.99. It's a little smaller pack sausage, but man, at $2.99 each, that's one worth going and getting, definitely. Bashas always runs good deal on produce. I mean, you can really get some decent produce deals, and they really do have a pretty nice produce section, usually in the Bashas stores. Let's keep rolling down this ad. All right, that's it for the Bashas ad. Let's roll over to Safeway. Let's see what they're running. Woo, doggy. Beef, choice, petite sirloins, $3.99 a pound. Yes. A grilling steak of sorts. It's an average steak, but at $3.99 a pound, what do you find at $3.99 a pound anywhere? Maybe pork, So to get a petite sirloin at $3.99 a pound, that is a smoking deal. Assorted chops at $1.99 a pound. Man, that's not bad. Assorted chops and pork loin, shoulder steaks, and boneless country style ribs. So that's a bone-in product. Sorry. At $1.99 a pound. So you got quite a few different things that you can get at $1.99 a pound. Assorted chop, country style rib, and pork steaks at $1.99 a pound. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. I don't care who you are. If you're buying pork, that's a good deal. 85% lean ground beef, $4.99 a pound, sold in the value pack. Now this isn't a tube product like the Cardenas store, but they had the chub at $4.49 a pound for 85% lean. So this is a fresh product rather than a tube product, so that's not too bad. 85% at $4.99, that's very competitive for these guys. Breakfast sausage is one of their red hot deals at $2.97 each. That's not bad for breakfast sausage. This is kind of Wayne's Farms chicken drumsticks, $3.99 for a 5-pound bag. Huh. I have to take a look at that. I need to roll into Safeway and Albertsons and see what that looks like. Here we go, premium cherries. We're running all kinds of cherry deals, you guys. $1.97 a pound on premium cherries, and this is one of Safeway Albertsons digital deals. And then here we go, Lucerne grade A large eggs for $2.47 each. So now we're starting to find egg deals. All that inflation that we talked about a couple months ago on eggs. Now we're starting to roll some prices out, and I'm sure the supplies are getting back to good stock levels, and that's why we're seeing deals on eggs, trying to get you into the store, telling people that, hey, we're rolling a good price on eggs. Come in and grab your eggs. I tell you, any of you restaurants out there, $2.47 a pound, or each, I should say. Sorry, it's not bad. So we got Smithfield bacon at $3.97. This is a 12-ounce product. Anytime you're at that 12-ounce product at $3.99 or cheaper, that's not bad. Smithfield is a pretty good brand, well-known brand. Ooh, here's a good deal. Here's a good deal right here. Salads, 97 cents each. Wow, that's good. Avocados or mangoes, 99 cents each. Excuse me. We've seen some much better deals on avocados and mangoes at our other competitors. Bob Evans, $2.97. Telling you can't make it better than Bob Evans. Bob Evans is a really good deal, or a really good job of making their mashed potatoes, and their mac and cheese is really good. So I'm impressed with that price, $2.97. Definitely worth going and picking up. And then we have a whole host of things that you can go pick up. Buy two get two free. I would look for this colored marketing tags, and so that you know what prices apply to those buy two get two free. And then buy two get two free on Pepsi products as well, and Frito-Lay products. So there's quite a few things that they're doing the buy two get two free. Talk about this each and every week. And Pepsi products, what's cool about they're running around the 15 cans, in their 12 pack, so they're running the 15 pack basically, and it's a little more, few more cans of soda for about the same price as you would have paid for a Coke product. Let's keep rolling here. Here's 6 packs right here, 4 for $13. That's not terrible. That's a good one. Ooh, Ballpark weekly sales $1.99. We were looking at somebody else. I believe they were $3.99. So $1.99. That's a good price. Let's take a look at this. Neighborhood shaved beef at $3.99. Ribeye, steak, or chicken. That's not bad, man. Shaved steak at $3.99. Voila. getting a good little deal here. It's a weekend sale. Just pay attention to some of these dates. You really do kind of need to bring your lawyer to the store as far as knowing when things start and end and what you have to do for it and all the ins and outs and hoops that you got to jump through just to make sure and get that deal. But if you spend a little time, you definitely can get a good deal. Coke and Pepsi products at $2.79 for a 2-liter. You know, we saw them for $1 at another store. So, you know, be vigilant on looking for your good prices. Here's your Fab 5, buy 5 or more. And you have 3 for $5, 2 for $5, and $5 each. So they're running a big Fab 5. Look for this color tag, you know, to foresee what products apply to that. Let's keep rolling down this ad. Meatballs at $4.99, that's okay. Cantaloupe at $1.99, that's okay. Center cut chops at $2.99. This is an offshoot of their assorted chops. Trying to make a little bit of money. This is an upcharge for you. Boneless skinless breast at $3.99. That's their case boneless skinless breast for their service counters. And this is kind of an interesting one. Beef bacon wrapped petite sirloin at $6.99 a pound. I don't know. You can buy bacon yourself and wrap your own petite sirloins. Why not? Get the petite sirloin on the front page for $3.99. Buy some of that Smithfield bacon, and then you're wrapping your own petites. You know, some of these upcharges, you know, it just depends on what you want to pay for and if you want to spend the time making it yourself. So that's not too bad if you just don't want to spend the time doing it. Raw easy peel shrimp here, 21-25 counts, pretty good size shrimp for $6.99 a pound, but it's a raw product. It's not bad. $9.99 on Atlantic fresh salmon. So far, fries, best deal in the market on Atlantic salmon, farm raised. Here's hot dogs digital deal. Looks like Ballpark beef franks and your Oscar Mayer line. And you got to kind of watch the hot dog market. You know, you have just your regular meat franks and your beef franks, and usually the pricing doesn't apply. So here's your Hillshire Farm products, like we saw in another ad, but for $3.99 each. It's not bad. Pineapple, $1.99 each. That's a good deal. Love cutting up some pineapple now. Fresh pineapple, there's just nothing better than a fresh pineapple. 50 cents an ear on corn, 2 for $3. That's $1.50 each for your bell peppers, where I believe we saw them for 99 cents each in another store. So, you know, be leery. To me, it's worth going around and shopping at a few different stores to find the best deals in the market. I think that's going to just about do it for Safeway Albertsons. This is kind of an interesting $5 off on a propane exchange. Propane accessories. Hank Hill. Anyway, I know I'm showing my age. I apologize. And that's going to do it for the Safeway Albertsons ad. Thank you guys for spending some time with me. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. That's what makes it all go around. Hit that like button. Like. That's what keeps me in the algorithm and lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job and you think I'm doing a good job. So please like, subscribe, share, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for spending some time with me, and bye now. We'll see you next time.